What's going on, everybody? What's going on? I have to admit that I had to call 911 today because I'm an idiot. And I'm the first one to say that, I fucked up on that one. I don't blame anybody else. I fucked up on this one. Okay, so I have a 3-bedroom, 2 bath house, and it's all first level, and the roof is on the steeper side. It's not insanely steep, but it's on the steeper side. So I grabbed my ladder, which is sort of like a foldable ladder, and I wanted to go up on the roof and clear the leaves from the rain gutters, because I have a bunch of trees on my property. I get a bunch of freaking leaves and debris in those things. And then I also wanted to check the little stacks for the vents for the bathrooms to make sure there's nothing clogged, because I've been having a little bit of a issue with my plumbing. So I get up there and the ladder is up against the rain gutter. So when I get up there, like, I had boots on and couldn't get anything. So I immediately went down. And if I tried to get on the ladder kept freaking moving. I'm stuck up on on the roof, and I'm screaming like, "Help! Help! Send me!" And I call out to my neighbor who lives across the street, and I swear I heard him say, "Hey, what's up?" And then he was gone. So I'm stuck up on there, afraid that I'm gonna freaking slide off the side of the freaking roof. So I end up having to call 911. And I'm like, yeah, I'm an idiot, and can you come get me? so two firemen come up, and they walk around the edge of the house, and the one guy's looking at me, and I'm like, yeah, I got myself into a bind. And he's looking at me, he's like, "You're all right? Everything's good?" I'm like, "Yeah, I said every time I try to get to the ladder, the thing wants to freaking move." And he jumped up on the ladder, and he was helping me. And he's like, "I see what you're saying about the ladder. Like, every time that I'm on here, the thing is moving." So he's like, "I wouldn't do that." I'm like, "I have no plans on going on the damn roof anymore. Hell to the no." So yes, I am an idiot, and I admit I'm an idiot, and I ain't doing that shit ever again. I'll just use the ladder and prop it up against a thing and just kind of do one of these things and pull it out of the freaking gutters. Fuck that going up on the on the roof. That was fucking terrible. That was frightening and terrible at the same time. Terrible and frightening and terrible. Yeah, that's me. That's this guy. So the topic for today, and I don't know if you guys know this or not. I know I have people that watch my short stuff on YouTube, and then I've got some long form stuff. But I have a full-time job. I also do films on the side, different art projects and stuff. So I don't always have enough time to be able to stream all the time, which I want to dedicate more time to it, because I want to have that part of my marketing strategy. I want to be able to create a fan base so that people enjoy what I'm doing. So I definitely want to dedicate more to that. And a lot of times I do it on Sundays because I'm home. I work from home, and we have off Sundays, so I'm not doing anything. Maybe go to the store and get some groceries for the week, stuff like that. But usually I'm not doing anything on Sundays. Saturdays is kind of iffy because sometimes I work, sometimes I don't. So I definitely want to stream on Sundays, and I like to create a schedule for when I stream. And it's always going to be Sunday morning or early Sunday afternoon, because I get better light coming out of the windows than I do if I was to close the windows, the curtains, the whole thing, and then just go based off of some lights that I have. It always comes off a little bit yellow. So I like to have it where I do it during the day, so I have some natural light coming in, and then I can just have some of the yellow light that's kind of sprinkled throughout. It looks a lot better. So I definitely like that. It is a little bit yellow, but it's not as bad as when I have the natural light coming in. So every year there is there's lists that come out for the top 10 or top 20 this, and the top 10 and top 20 this actors. And I saw one the other day that somebody had posted, and there's a bunch of YouTube videos that was done on it, talking about the top 10 top 20 directors of all time. So I wanted to I have that in my my videos and lists and stuff, so that we're going to share that. So I got that information, but it's it's very subjective. So to completely say this person is the greatest person of all time, like I understand that there's a top 10, a top 5 list that's probably on most people's list as far as the greatest directors of all time, and it's probably widespread that like the top 5 is pretty locked in, because how do you how do you rate the success? Because you could have an indie filmmaker that his movies are spot her movies are spot on, but they don't get the notoriety that like a big director has. But they have the look of a solid movie. They tell a solid story, but people like that don't get love at all. So that's where I come in. Is I do indie filmmakers, and not everybody likes indie filmmakers. I try to make mine as quality as I can so that people enjoy the experience. The audio is good, the acting is good, the cinematography is good. Sometimes you run into stuff where you have to reshoot something doesn't look as quite how you want it to look. Um, so there are challenges when it comes to stuff like that. Let me go over here. There are challenges to stuff like that, where and they come up with these top 20 things, and then they sneak in names that have not earned their stripes. They're doing it strictly for clicks or strictly for an agenda. And it's like, really? Do you really have to agenda top directors that find success? Because you could have a director that just chooses projects well, but then you could also have a director that, makes money from their movies all the time. They're a top earner. So it's like it depends on what metrics that you are looking at it to be. So it's like I don't necessarily buy these. I mean, they're fun to go over, but it's kind of like, I'm a huge David Fincher fan. Absolutely love his stuff. I would say he's top 20. I wouldn't say he's top 5, but that's just my opinion. I like his movies. I enjoy storytelling what he does. He's one of my inspirations. I would love to work with him or meet him, because like he is definitely one of my idols as far as a director. I mean, some of his projects is just they resonate with me every time I watch them. It's like, man, that's a good story, man. I really like the movie. So, my David Fincher stuff would be in top 5 or whatever, but somebody else is just like, no, this person, this, that. So it's like it's very subjective, and but it's annoying when people put their agenda and shit in it, which it should never be. I'm tired of people not being honest with themselves. It's about the agenda, it's about the message, and it's not about actually fucking thinking. Using the shit that's between your ears that's just not filled with fucking marijuana bong fucking water. I mean, come on, people. Like, let's really get into fucking critical thinking. Like, actually fucking thinking about something before it comes out of your fucking mouth. Like, it gets fucking irritating. I was on Facebook yesterday or day before, and there's a bunch of these groups for different streaming services. Excuse me. Okay, so there's a bunch of these Facebook groups and all kinds of groups for different streaming services. And I'm hoping my movie gets on some of these so that I can promote it, so people can watch it. And this lady straight up was just like, all these black movies are getting taken off by all these white directors and all these white people. And I messaged and said, that was the most racist shit that I've ever heard in my life. Absolutely one of the racist shit. I don't look at the shit like it's a white person movie, it's a black person movie. I look at it as, does it entertain me? Does it tell a story? That's when I look at it. This person, why all these black people, all these black movies are getting taken off because of all these white people. I will call that bullshit out every single fucking time. That is blatant fucking racism. And you can sit there and say, well, black people can't be racist. I don't give a shit about any of that stuff. Can you tell a story? Am I entertained? Can I escape the fucking reality of how shitty of a day is with me being up on the fucking roof stuck? Can I escape from that? Does it tell a story? Does it entertain me? That's what I care about. I don't care if it's a black story or a white story or a Hispanic story or LGBT story, or I don't give a shit. Can you tell a story? So I went off on this person. I literally went off and they're like, well, you should apologize to this person. I'm like, I'm not apologizing. You're being racist and saying dumb shit. Like, seriously. That that just crosses a line. That crosses many lines for me. Like seriously, like, get out of the 1950s and 1960s fucking mind think and get into fucking 2024. Seriously, just do it. And if you don't like it, get the fuck out. I mean, seriously, like, these people are just fucking brain rotted of just garbage. Okay. So, but anyway, that's my rant of that bullshit, and we're gonna take a look at some different things. Okay, so all right, so what we're going to do is take a look at a couple of these things that I had pulled up. Okay, so this is the top 20 directors of all time ranked that has been going around, and I know there were people that were doing um they were doing videos on this from Screen Rant, and some of the picks that they had was just atrocious. Okay, their number 10 was Jordan Peele. Jordan Peele has what? 3 mainstream movies? 3. 3. How can he be on a top 20 filmmakers or directors of all time with 3 mainstream movies? And taking people off that do deserve to be on there. And I know what people are going to say. There has to be black representation on the film. It's about merit. It's about, do you have the goods to entertain me? Do you have the goods to tell a story? His 3 movies were mid. Mid. And they didn't do anything at the box office. But you're going to have him on the top 20 of all time filmmakers? Yeah, I mean, seriously. Let's seriously get into some critical thinking, some thinking of what you're fucking talking about. Jordan Peele and top 20 directors of all time? That's got to be a fucking joke. All right, let me post a little thing. Feel free. Main topic. Hello. Definitely feel free to a message in because I'm on YouTube, because a lot of times I'll do X, but X doesn't, you can't use a chat for X. So like, I'll go on X and post stuff because I don't want one of these topics that I'm talking about for YouTube to be like, well, you can't use that, it's not fair use. So a lot of times I'll do X, but I want to do more YouTube. I want to start building that up. So definitely like and subscribe, and feel free to go and chat, and let's talk about movies. Okay, so Jordan Peele, top 20, nah. And I'm not saying that one day he may be able to be into the top 20. Who knows? I don't know. But to anoint him top 20 directors of all time based off 3 mainstream movies, I mean, seriously, let's use our fucking brains here. Okay, Ryan Coogler. So what Ryan Coogler has done, the Black Panther movies, and then he's also done the Creed movies, and then he also was wearing a mask going into a bank asking for a shit ton of money. Character issues? I don't know, maybe. Because that was news for a couple weeks, and then they try to bury it because they have an agenda. The agenda has to be met. But Ryan Coogler, it's too early in my opinion. If he has longevity, sure, can definitely entertain the fact that he would be top 20 filmmakers or directors of all time. Sure, if he has longevity, if he's doing this 20 years from now and just keeps on turning out great movies, hell yeah, put him on there. Right now in 2025, when he's got Black Panther and the Creed movies, doesn't deserve to be on the top 20 directors of all time. Not at all. Okay, this woman right here, I don't know anything about her. Let's see here. India, I'm the writer, fictional kind of movie film. Let me take a quick peek of let me take a quick peek of what she's done. And my guess, and this is just my guess, probably nothing. They wanted to have a woman representation. And she may one day be able to be on this list. But right now in 2025, probably not. But we'll see. She's a Chinese filmmaker. Let's see here. What is she done? What has she done? Okay. 2009, she made a short film. The short won first place at live action 2010. Palm Springs short film she won. Directed Sons of My Brother Taught Me. She had a film that premiered at the Cannes Film Festival. She's definitely got she definitely has done something. Oh, right here. Okay, The Rider, No Man Land, The Eternals, and Hamnet. Is that worthy of top 10 or top 20 filmmakers or directors of all time? That would be a fucking no. It's not. That's a representation fucking pick. Did I call that shit? Yes, I did. I did call that. I did call the fact that they put her on there when she hasn't actually earned it. 20 years from now, different story. Has she continued to make cinema? Has she continued to make movies? Has she continued to have success? Has she told great stories? Sure, it's possible. 20 years from now, you can add her to a list. Complete awesome. That'd be amazing. But right now, 2025, when she's had 5 movies come out, are you really saying that she's the best of all time? Let's get real. Honestly, let's get real. I mean, it's retarded that they're like, oh, here's the top 20 list, but we're going to omit this person and this person because they're a white person, and then we're going to put this person in there because they haven't earned it. It's about earning. It's about fucking earning and not just giving. I've been like that since I was a little fucking kid. Did you earn it? Did you do the work? Did you put the work in? Did you try to make it as best as it possibly can be? Can you tell a story? Can you entertain somebody? Like I said, can you escape from me being stuck on the fucking roof? And can I get out of my little brain and say, wow, that was a freaking great movie. It took me on a great journey. It told a good story. But to just anoint somebody and put them on a fucking list, come on, people. Let's get real. Okay, now this gentleman right here, I know that he's had a lot of success. But one is his longevity. What is the longevity of what he is doing? So I don't know. Let me do a quick search and see what he's done. Does he deserve to be on a top 20 directors of all time list right now? I don't know. Let's take a look here. All right. Okay, so he did the movie Parasite in 2019, which I've heard different things about Parasite. I definitely want to check that out. I remember them talking about it because it definitely had Oscar buzz. Okay. Okay, so he's doing the Snowpiercer TV. 41 episodes, so he did the Snowpiercer. He did Parasite. He did a bunch of international movies. It'd be interesting to see how much his movies have grossed. Because all I'm seeing is Snowpiercer, Parasite. He's definitely did some international movies, which I have not seen, so I don't want to say that either way. But um, I don't see a cachet where he's just doing bomb after or amazing movie after amazing movie after amazing movie where it's just like undoubtedly like holy crap, this guy is freaking amazing. I don't see it. I'm looking at his IMDb page, and let me stop sharing that, and then I will share this one, or not David Fincher, but Bong. Okay, did Snowpiercer. He did 41 episodes of that. He also did the movie for it. He did Parasite. He did a screenplay. Um, I don't see here how you can consider him top 20 directors of all time. Again, and I've said it for a third time, where 20 years down the road, will he make this list? Sure. I'm not like that where it's like because a person can't be on the list that therefore they're never going to be on the list. I'm not saying that. I am saying that have they deserved it? Have they put the time in? Have they earned their spot? That is what I'm saying. And right now, he has not earned his spot for top 20 directors of all time. He has not. I don't give a shit. This is his IMDb. Hadn't earned it. It's all about the earning. And I'm not talking about necessarily money, which that has a part in it. To say that it doesn't being disingenuous. That has a part where how much money has your movies made as a director, as a producer. It does have, I don't think it's everything, but it definitely has a part in it. Okay, so let me share this again. All right. So, okay, Catherine Bigelow. Now, I do enjoy some of Catherine Bigelow's movies. I'm not going to lie. But does she belong in the top 20 directors of all time? Let's kind of take let me pull up her IMDb page and see what kind of cachet or what she has done, and has she earned it? So let's take a look. I think that without looking at it, I think she has, because she has been around for a long, long time. But let's see what we got going on here. Let me stop sharing that, and I'll share Catherine Bigelow's IMDb page. Okay. Now she's the type of person that she's not going to make a movie every year. She kind of spreads them out a little bit. Okay, so she did Detroit, 2017. I Am Not a Weapon, which is a short movie. Detroit, Last Days, Zero Dark 30. That was pretty successful movie in 2012. So that's one. The Hurt Locker was another one. Pretty successful movie. That's two. Point Break, which I absolutely love. Point Break. I can watch that movie every day. Blue Streak, or Blue Steel. That was okay. 1990. She did Law and Order. And let's look at some previous stuff here. Miracle Year. I say Catherine Bigelow has not earned it yet. Could she be there 10, 20 years from now? Sure. She has been doing this for a long time. So she's definitely got the cachet. But has she earned it yet? I don't know. I think she's flirting with the top 20, but I don't think she should be in the top 20. Give it 10, 20 years, then that's a conversation that we can definitely have. I just don't think she's earned it quite yet. So yeah, Catherine Bigelow. She's 16th on this list. I don't think she's earned it quite yet. I think she's flirting with the top 20, but I don't think she's earned it yet. But again, they added her because she's a woman and didn't care about anything else. I want the agenda shit to go. It's about merit. Have you earned it? She's close. I think she's flirting for top 20, but I wouldn't put her in top 20. Not yet. Guillermo de Toro. Okay, now he's one what we're going to take a look at because he's another one who's been around a very long time, and he does have a lot of successful movies. So let me pull up his IMDb. Because it's only fair if we look at it and see if he's earned it. Has he earned his spot? Or is it because he's a white man? Let me come on, please. Please. Okay. All right. Gil de Toro. He had a couple things 22. The Witches, Wizards, Strain, The Shape of Water. That was nominated for multiple Academy Awards. The Hobbit. Pacific Rim is one of those ones where it was a good concept, but I don't think it actually worked. The Hobbit, Pacific Rim, Hobbit stuff. He did all the Hellboy stuff, which was very successful. There was no I mean, he didn't win awards or anything like that. And it's not Academy Award worthy, but he did all the Hellboy stuff. He did Pan's Labyrinth, which was very successful. Was also nominated for Academy Awards. Hellboy, Mimic. He did some shorts in 1982, 84. He has some upcoming Frankenstein, Scary, Werewolf. Yeah, he does. He definitely does a lot of like the science fiction type stuff. I don't know. I mean, I see at least 10 movies that were successful, and I see multiples that were nominated for Academy Awards. I think he's earned it. He's earned his stripes. He earned being in the top 20. It's debatable about where you want to put him in the top 20, but he definitely earned his spot based off of the success of his movies, and he's not been nominated multiple times for Academy Awards for his movies. He definitely earned it. David Fincher, one of my favorites. I absolutely love this guy. I love his movies. I'd pulled up his IMDb earlier because I wanted to talk about him. Let me see here. Just because he's one of my favorites. He is one of my favorites. Right here. All right. Has he earned a spot? It's about earning. Mindhunter, one of my favorite Netflix TV shows. Absolutely amazing. And it sucks that he got busy doing other things and couldn't continue to do it. Mindhunter was one of my favorites. So well written, absolutely great show. House of Cards, same thing, great writing. Until certain people got caught up with the law, and that show went to shit. Again, House of Cards, Mindhunter, House of Cards. Okay, what else do we have here? Lords of Dogtown, which I don't think Lords of Dogtown was a great movie, but I don't think it had the I don't think it had like the push where it was like it's the greatest thing of all time. But I thought it was pretty entertaining. I really liked the Lords of Dogtown. Okay, 95 directing previously. 95. Okay, so he's got the numbers. He's got the amount where he's been there and done that. So let's see what kind of successes we've got. Mindhunter, Gone Girl, nominated for Academy Award. House of Cards, multiple awards. And The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, nominated for multiple awards. The Social Network, nominated for multiple awards. The Curious Case of Benjamin Button, nominated for multiple awards. Do you see the theme here? Zodiac, multiple awards. Do we see the theme here? This man is on the top 20 list for a reason. Not because he had 4 movies or 3 movies like Peele has. Like, come on. To say that this guy and Peele are in the same room at the same level, I mean, get the fuck out of here. Seriously. Panic Room was pretty successful. I mean, I don't think it won an Academy Award or anything like that. Some of my favorite, Fight Club, amazing. The Game, amazing. 7, amazing. I mean, seriously. And then before that, he was doing music videos for some of the top artists like Madonna, Billy Idol, Michael Jackson. So there's a bunch of stuff that's where he did for music videos. But he earned his spot. So I mean, this whole show that I'm doing right now is all about merit. It's all about earning your spot. And putting somebody like this and putting fucking Peele on this or Jordan Peele on the same fucking list is atrocious. Absolutely atrocious. 3 movies, a huge fucking catalog of award-winning fucking stuff. I mean, yeah. He's my favorite. In my little world, he's my favorite. Okay, Greta Gerwig. Okay, she did Barbie. Let's take a look and see what else she's done. My guess is nothing. But I'm keeping an open mind. My mind is open to see what she has done to deserve to be on the top 20 directors list of all time. Let's see. Right here, she looks like she might be what, in her 30s? Okay. Let us see. Okay, so she did let's see here. White Noise, Island of Dogs, Jackie, The Mindy Project. So she did 2 episodes of Mindy Project. Portlandia, which was Portlandia was actually a pretty funny show. I think it was like, I want to say it was on Comedy Central. How I Met Your Dad. She did a TV short for that. And then let's see, because I know she's done some more. Let's see here. Arthur, Greenberg. I don't see anything where she's deserved anything. It's just a lot of fluff. It's a lot of TV movies. She did 1 or 2 episodes of a TV series. It's not enough. Not enough at all. So she's got Little Woman, Barbie, and Lady Bird. So you're gonna put her on the greatest directors of all time list because of 3 movies. 3. This is all television. This is all short films, television. Looks like some screenplay stuff, written, some writing credits. So you're gonna put her on the 3 greatest or the 20 greatest directors of all time based off of 3 movies. guarantee Little Women didn't do anything at the box office. You know how many times they've redone Little Women? I mean, it's a remake of a remake of a remake of a book. I mean, Lady Bird. I'm pretty sure Lady Bird got nominated for some awards. I'm pretty sure it did. But are you going to nominate for 5 Oscars? But are you going to anoint her the top 20 uh list of all-time directors based off of 3 movies? No. Give 20 years from now, that's a conversation that we could talk about for sure. I'm not, like I said, I'm not like it has to be this. No. But to put somebody on a list of 20 directors of all time when they based off of 3 movies, come on, let's get real, folks. Let us get real here. All right, let me stop that. Get rid of the Greta bullshit. Go back to the directors of all time list. So yeah, this right here is a narrative. We got to put a woman on a top 20 list. So we're going to anoint her based off of 3 movies. 3. Quentin, amazing. Number 12, atrocious. Name a movie that Quentin Tarantino has had a bomb with. I'm waiting. Quentin Tarantino should be top 10, possibly top 5. Definitely top 10. I mean, you're being just disingenuous if you think that he is not a top director of all time. He's well spoken. He does his research. The accuracy that he demands for the movies that he does, and he wants to get the history correct. He wants to get the accuracy down to like the matchbook that the person is using in a fucking movie in that time period. There's nobody in history other than maybe Hitchcock that is that detailed in every little fucking detail and every little movie and every little detail in their movies. There's not been anybody. I think him and Hitchcock are like on a list by themselves as far as details. Orson Welles. Now, I got to be honest with you guys. I haven't seen too much of his movies. His stuff's a lot of early stuff. Orson Welles. Citizen Kane is touted as being one of the greatest movies of all time. It's a snooze fest, in my opinion. It's long. It's long. But Orson Welles is 11. He definitely deserves to be in the top 20, but where you want to put him is kind of up to you. Okay, Sofia Coppola. Okay. So I like Sofia Coppola's movies. She did the Virgin Suicide. She did the Lost in Translation movies. I like her stuff. But in my opinion, she's on this list based off of her last name, not because she's earned the large amount of movies that she's had success with. So I think this is another one where I think she's flirting with the top 20 because of the movies that she's made has had success. But the amount that she's made is debatable if she's even in the top 20, honestly. And I like her movies, but it's about earning it. It's about how long she's been doing it. And she's very selective on what movies she gets involved in. And that's fine. You can be selective. And I prefer that from a writer or a director because you want to make it quality. So I enjoy that. But to anoint her as the top 10, come on, people. Seriously, it's because of her last name. And she's a woman that they put her in there. James Cameron. Number 9. Number 9. That's laughable. That is fucking laughable. Let's look at James Cameron's filmography. Let's look at James, shall we? Has he earned his spot? Is the words coming out of my mouth generated enough interest in him being in the top 10, let alone the top 5 fucking directors of all time? Let's see. Has he earned his spot? It's all about earning, baby. All about earning. All right, so let's go look at James or Jim Cameron. Let's look at him. Jim. Okay. Okay, True Lies television show. He also did True Lies the movie. Avatar: The Way of Water, one of the biggest grossing movies of all time. And won 1 Oscar. Terminator. Terminator 2. Aliens. Avatar. He did the Dark Angel series back in the day, which was a good series, but we're not gonna add that. Titanic. I already named True Lies. The Abyss. Rambo. Alien. And that's it. 9 freaking movies, 9 freaking franchises that made millions and billions amount of money. You're gonna sit there and tell me he's number 12? No, excuse me. He's number 9. Number 9. If he's number 9, the number 1 through 8 is fucking wrapped in fucking gold. And they shit fucking gold. That's kind of fucking ridiculous. 9 fucking bangers and historical fucking shows and or movies that's made billions and billions and billions and billions and billions of dollars, won tons and tons and tons of awards. The Terminator 2, Titanic. Are you kidding me right now? That's just, it's one of those things that it just blows my mind. Number 9. If he's number 9, what the fuck? Number 9 right there. Christopher Nolan. And ain't no doubt Christopher Nolan should be on this list. Absolutely amazing. Dark Knight trilogy. That alone, billions and billions and billions of dollars. The Prestige. Inception. Interstellar. I mean, right there puts him on Oppenheimer. That's what, 6 that I just listed? That puts him on the list of top 20. And like I said, it's debatable as far as how you want to rank people, where you want to put people, and all this other stuff. That's not debated. That's a debatable thing. It's about earning your fucking stripes, not doing 3 movies and expecting to be on a fucking list of top 20. Like, that's just ridiculous. Okay, this is a pick that it's. I'm not a huge Spike Lee fan because it takes he goes for a particular audience, and I'm not in his audience. So for what he does in the lasting power of his movies that he's done, I don't know about putting him on a top 20. I mean, I think he's flirting with top 20, but it's one of those things where it's like, what have you done for me lately? and it's been nothing. So if I'm going to hold everybody else to a certain standard, then I have to hold somebody like a Spike Lee who's made iconic projects, but the amount of them is lacking. So if I'm going to make fun of the people that get on this list for 3 movies, Spike Lee, I think would be flirting with top 20, but I don't think he's in top 20. Francis Ford Coppola, I mean, Godfather Part 2. We can take a look at his filmography to see if I'm bullshitting that he shouldn't be in this. All right, let's look at the goods per se. All right, Mediopolis, which I have not seen that. It definitely had some buzz, but I have not seen that. On the road somewhere. The Good Shepherd. That was okay. Okay, directors. Director. Okay, so Good Shepherd. Which it didn't look it didn't look like he directed that. He does not look like he directed that. He was a producer for it. Let's see here. The Rainmaker, Jack. Jack was pretty good, but it didn't really get like a ton of cachet for it. Bram Stoker's Dracula. The Godfather trilogy, which concludes 1, 2, and 3. So that's 4. The Outsiders, that's 5. Apocalypse Now, that's 6. Yeah, so he's had 6 iconic movies. And when I'm talking iconic movies, I'm talking about a project that nobody's seen before. Did you uplift actors that were in it? I mean, come on, like you know how many actors came from the Godfather series that had iconic careers? Because it's not just about did they direct it? Was it successful? Did it make money? It's not just about that. It's also on the impact that you make in the industry, in pop culture, and is as a storyteller. It's all involved. The people that have 3 on the fucking list, they're not there yet. They're they should not be on a top 20 list. One day, maybe, but it's about what careers have made it through your projects. Obviously, awards, money, but it's not just that. So, Mr. Francis Ford Coppola should be on that list. Should be. Okay, no, I've not seen too many of his movies, and like I said, you can debate where he is on this. He's a Japanese filmmaker. He did Seven Samurais. He did a bunch of other type of movies, which I have not. And they're saying that you know, he helped create the American Western genre. I don't know. I can't speak of that. So you can kind of debate on where he is. We can look him up on IMDb and see if those um if the parameters that I have set for everyone else holds to water. What kind of cultural difference has he made? How many actors that he's made? How many Oscars have you done? How much money have you make? It's not just about the money. It's about a bunch of different things. Okay. Like I said, I'm going to kind of have an open mind when it comes to this gentleman because I have not seen a bunch of his movies, so I don't know for a fact. Writers, directors, 33. 8.2. Go like Seven Samurai. I know of Seven Samurai. Let's see. Nominated for 2 Oscars. He won 5 times for Seven Samurai. Which, like I said, like if I was to go to the video store, this right here, it's not there. I would have to hunt it down. So what? So in Japanese culture or Chinese culture, he's probably a big deal, but he hasn't made it to me, who's a fucking nerd. You know what I mean? Like I actively research and I actively want to soak in people's movies. So like his impact with Japanese Chinese culture, that's one thing. Has he made an impact through his art other places? I'm saying no. I've never heard of him, or I've heard of him and I've heard of his some of his movies, but like they didn't impact me like, holy crap, that was a freaking amazing movie. Holy shit, that's a great story. You know what I mean? Like they have never impacted me because they're not available. Like Tora Tora Tora. I know I've heard of Tora Tora Tora. Won 1 Oscar. Hmm. So I don't know. That's kind of a conversation that we can have as far as this gentleman right here, and should he be in the top 20 directors of all time? Because like I said, if I hold this standard to the girls and I hold the standard to some of the other filmmakers that are on this list about only having 4 projects or 3 projects, I have to hold the same thing. So I don't know enough to be able to say if he deserves to be in top 20 directors of all time. My opinion, he has a couple movies that I've heard of, but other than that, I'm saying no, he should not be on that list because out of pure the amount of how he's done. It looks like he's directed about what 20 movies, 33 total, all in the 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, and then he stepped in the 90s. So if you want to say legendary, award winning, sure, he's done that. Top 20 directors of all time, I don't see it, honestly. I don't see it. Not because like I said, he hasn't had an impact on Japanese, Chinese culture, Asian culture, but the amount that's come to the US so that I can watch it, I haven't heard of 90% of this stuff. So, yeah, I mean, it's one of those things. So we'll keep looking. Top 5 though, uh, over James Cameron. I mean, if you're looking for iconic or historic directors who made an impact on people's careers as far as like they watched his movies and wanted to become a filmmaker, I get that, but we're talking about top directors and there's a vast amount of parameters that are for that, and I don't think that he fits that. Steven Spielberg, number 4. I mean, E.T. I mean, he's got banger after banger after banger. Jurassic Park. I mean, we can just keep going on and on and on. He is Steven Spielberg is top 3, depending on like everybody has list of directors. Steven Spielberg is top 3 on every single one of them. 4, we'll see who's ahead of him. Alfred Hitchcock. Okay, so Alfred Hitchcock, impact in society. Yes, people still watch his movies. Impact on how he shot his films and the certain techniques that he used to do those films. Check. Money. How much money has earned? How many remakes are done of his movies? I mean, Psycho, for example, is still in the zeitgeist today in 2025. People still dress up like fucking Psycho in 2025. That is a big deal. That is a huge deal. So he definitely should be one of the top 3 of all time. And I have I have a video that we can watch about Alfred Hitchcock. and it's a little bit long, so I might jump around a little bit, but it's talking about the film theory. And he was not a he went to school for filmmaking, but then when he tried to work on other people's films, he just gravitated to only doing his own. So he only physically worked on a couple of somebody else's films. He always just did his own thing. So I have a video that we can watch. Let me share that. And like I said, it is kind of a little bit lengthy, so we'll kind of well, this particular one is 7 minutes, so it's not insanely too long. So we'll check it out. Okay, let me.
Working with big stars as opposed to unknown faces in the films. Many of your films, of course, had Ingrid Bergman and Cary Grant and people like the Flawed Rings.
For the story, I don't mind one way or the other. But I think the good cast that fits the story is what you see, because we have so few stars today. And the star doesn't necessarily guarantee you success anymore.
Doesn't guarantee success at the box office.
They used to be regarded as insurance, you see.
Yeah.
When was this? 1972. Does that sound like a time that we're talking about in a recent right now? The movie star is basically dead. It's all ensemble cast because nobody can hold a fucking film together by themselves. The movie star is pretty much dead. And Alfred Hitchcock would use top stars for that time, but he would use a lot of people that nobody's ever heard of. And he made the choices with his cinematography and showing the side of people's faces, showing the reaction of their eyes and real super close up. Like, he's the one that invented that shit. His impactful on culture, on how people shoot their films. Obviously the long lasting of how his films are, like Psycho. The money, obviously, but like I said, money isn't everything. That's just part of it. This is what I'm talking about. If you're going to be on a top 20 impact film directors of all time, you better have something that you did that impacted the industry as a whole. Alfred Hitchcock did that. I think, in my opinion, some of Alfred Hitchcock's movies are a little bit slow. So it is kind of, on some of them, they are kind of a hard watch because they are kind of on the slow, because he is looking for like the dramatic and thriller type thing. So it's all about the facial expressions and how the cinematography of what the side of a person's face is, how the shadow hits the face, all that stuff. That's all Alfred Hitchcock. His impact in filmmaking today in 2025 versus 50, 60, 70 years ago. Those are the type of people that need to be in the top 20 directors of all time, not some asshole that made 3 movies.
That doesn't apply today. People don't like the picture. It doesn't matter who's in it. They won't go.
I read somewhere once that you'd made a remark that romantic man and romantic lady leading roles, the people who play those are inevitably very much in love with each other by the time.
Well, that's because, one hears of so many multiple marriages in Hollywood. Women have had 4 husbands and vice versa. Yeah. And I think it's really because they meet in a love scene in a picture and they bring it to life and truth after 6 o'clock, in the dressing room, preferably.
Have you ever caught them doing this?
No, not myself, because I like to be home at 6 o'clock.
Oh, I see.
But they apparently don't.
But
I think that's one of the reasons why you find multiple marriages in Hollywood. Every man has been married about 2 or 3 times. That's because he meets a different woman every film that comes along.
Are you suggesting that Grace Kelly then was in love with James Stewart, and then with Cary Grant, and then with who else was there? Ray Milland and.
Well, I wouldn't particularize on it because
for obvious
I'm
reasons.
generalizing.
Oh, I see. Okay.
And he's not an army man either.
Who?
Generalizing.
Oh, generalizing. No. Oh, that's. You like all kinds of horror, don't you? Bad puns.
Not bad pun. Puns are the highest form of literature.
There are those who would agree with you. I think I'm one of them, actually. Puns are good. Are there films you wouldn't do over again? Some people have been very hurt to find when Rope was their favorite picture, and that body in the trunk, and the young men giving a dinner party with the body in the trunk, and all that appealed to so many people as a mystery, as a frightening film. And they're disappointed to hear that you wouldn't do it the way you did it if you had it to do it again.
Oh, yes, I would. Yes, that'll be shown on TV very soon.
Mm-hmm. But I mean,
it hasn't been shown as yet.
You did the astounding thing of doing the movie in 20-minute takes.
Well, that was because it was a theater piece. Mm-hmm. And I was trying to get some movement into what is really a theater piece. Yeah. So we followed the actors all around, and it was a prodigious job of production because walls had to slide away to let the camera go through. Mm-hmm. And all kinds of things. I remember the opening shot, we had this set, and it was a sort of a penthouse room, and we built a great big panorama of New York in miniature form, not just a painted back. Mm-hmm. And then we had a dining room and a kitchen. I remember the opening scene took 750 feet without a cut, starting with the murder of the boy, following the two through into the dining room, into the kitchen.
But yeah, that's a little bit about him talking about the specific movie. I have another one that I pulled up, and I found the other day, and I forgot to grab it, so that's why you probably heard a little bit of an audio thing. Let me pull that up. This one is the one that's a little bit longer.
Is about to happen in London. A quirky kid will stroll down the street and introduce himself to a film company. This small act of bravery will change the future of cinema. His name is Alfie. He'll soon piece together influences from German expressionists, Soviet montage theorists, and British macabre plays to become the most prolific director in film history. For 6 decades, he will actively shape the cinema art form as it transforms from silent to sound to color. But what's the big deal about Alfred Hitchcock? Why are his films considered to be so significant?
Sometimes you find that a film is looked at solely for its content without any regard to the style or manner in which the story is told. And after all, that basically is the art of the cinema.
Alfred Hitchcock was a director with one thing in mind: the audience. Everything he put on the screen was designed specifically to make your movie experience enjoyable.
See what I'm saying?
It was all designed to manipulate how you feel. Part of a unified strategy to
see the technique with the shadows, the hard shadows. It's all Alfred Hitchcock. People are using that today. That's the significance of the people that should be on the top 20 filmmakers of all time, not somebody that fucking did 3 movies. The impact that this gentleman had on cinema / film / fucking movies. Those are the people. And to sit there, well, it's only a list of white guys. Then do something about it. Make something fucking good. Make something that impacts people's lives that people are going to be like, holy shit, what did I just watch? That's what you should be focusing on. Not fucking going on social media saying these things should be the greatest things of all time when half the fucking people have not earned it. I mean, let's get like the list that has Alfred Hitchcock on it, Steven Spielberg, David Fincher, and some asshole that's done 3 movies, they should not be in the same fucking stadium, let alone a top 20 film director of all time list. Whoever wrote that list is a fucking idiot. Doesn't know anything about movies, doesn't know anything about writing. It's just like, here's $10 to fucking write some dumb fucking list. I mean, let's get honest here. It's about deep diving into why things are way they are. Why is Hitchcock regarded to be one of the greatest directors of all time? Honestly.
To draw you into what the characters care about, to form an emotional connection. Just like a painter uses brushstrokes to convey feelings, Hitchcock painted the screen with actors' faces. He said it's all the little nuances of expression that tell you what the character is feeling. They must be ever so slight.
Well, my idea of a good actor is somebody who can do nothing well.
He trained his actors in minimalism, having them keep a blank expression on their face. This was so he could use the camera to create the emotion. Hitchcock's approach was to avoid simply capturing a conversation on film, which he referred to as photographs of people talking. Instead, he would watch the listening.
Depuis une heure, sa chambre ne répond pas.
It's the reaction to what's being said and isn't said that brings the audience in. Hitchcock said people don't always express their inner thoughts to one another. A conversation may be quite trivial, but often the eyes will reveal what a person thinks or needs. With the camera, he used differences in proximity to the actor's face to get the emotional impact he wanted. He often called this orchestration. Each close-up is saved for moments of emphasis. He can reveal nervousness or suspicion. Behind the actor shows denial. The side shows guilt. A high shot is objective or supernatural. Wide shots convey emotional distance between characters. The closer you get to an actor's face, the more emotion you'll get.
I know every shot and every angle, so I become, in a sense, when I'm shooting the picture, though maybe not so good as, a conductor conducting an orchestra without a score.
Tracking away can make a situation feel beyond anyone's control. Tracking from wide to close can find a hidden secret. But cutting from wide to close can give the audience a feeling of shock.
If it were music, it would be tremolos on the violin and suddenly a brass instrument, which is the big close-up.
While his camera orchestrates emotion, Hitchcock controlled the timing of events along the axis of shot frequency, or how long a shot stays on the screen before cutting away. Staying on a character's reaction and following them across the room can emphasize an emotion.
Oh, what am I to do?
Moving the camera to the next shot instead of cutting to it holds on to tension. A long stationary camera shot allows opposing forces to converge.
I absolutely love this shot right here. I'm definitely going to use it as an homage to something that I do, where he's reacting to it. They have no idea that he's here, and you have two different, basically, things happening that are moving your eye in different direction. It's brilliant.
Within the screen space. Fast editing is something even more impressionistic for Hitchcock. Fragmenting a moment into converging perspectives can stretch out a fast event. It can also evoke something not seen on the screen in the audience's imagination. The camera becomes Hitchcock's instrument, and its succession of shots, a symphony.
To sum it up, you are transferring the menace from the screen into the mind of the audience.
From his beginnings in silent film, Hitchcock believed in visual storytelling. In those days, there was no voice track, and the dialogue had to be shown with printed words on the screen.
And I think I've showed this before, But you tell me, you tell me where I got the inspiration from for this shot. Go ahead. You guys go ahead and tell me. Let me see here. I won't stop. Okay. Let me stop sharing. You tell me where I got the inspiration from.
Another one. No, Derek, you need to take that. No more. Derek, there's too many. Derek. Please. No, you just. I'm sorry. Derek, please.
You tell me where I got the inspiration from. It's in this video of telling a story without saying a freaking word. He impacted me in 2025. That's what I'm talking about. That's exactly what I'm talking about. Is the people that are on the top 20 best directors of all time should have some sort of significance, impact on the industry of making movies. Not some asshole who made 3 movies that they want to put on there because they're a fucking woman or they're a black person. Earn it. Earn it. That's all I'm saying is fucking earn it. And then when you do earn it, pass it on to the next person. Show that little kid that's right now that's watching a movie that wants to be a movie maker. Impact that person. And then you can be on that list.
Screen in a movie.
Back it up a little bit.
We don't have pages to fill or pages from a typewriter to fill. We have a rectangular screen in a movie house.
Hitchcock used hands, feet, and objects as words in his cinematic language. Planted on the ground, feet give us a sense of place and safety, or often a lack of safety. Marnie's feet wobble when she loses control. In North by Northwest, the villain's feet fall over when he gets shot. Feet can also be a dramatic introduction to a character that'll make an important impact in the story. And feet can reveal personality differences between 2 characters. In Lifeboat, feet become involved in romantic embrace. Hands can show anxiety and shock, and most importantly, they interact with objects. Objects are everything in Hitchcock's storytelling language. They're the primary way that hands can drive the plot and interact with the story world. Often these objects are evidence of a crime and carry with them emotional guilt, such as the frozen leg of lamb in Lamb to the Slaughter. As Carl's hands touch and hold the murder weapon in revenge, we can feel his uneasiness. And then by adding eyes
Without
to
saying a
those
word.
hands, feet, and objects, Hitchcock spells out a character's thought process, piecing together what he called a visual sentence. With one simple sentence, Sam sees a burlap sack. By adding a second thing for him to look at, Hitchcock could expand the idea that he wants to put the body into the burlap.
But yeah, and he also invented the technique. Well, he didn't invent the technique, but he made more prominent where if the actor turns their head, the immediate shot is what is he looking at, and then he turns back at the actor to react to what they're looking at. So if there's a dead body right there, the actor walks in the room, turns their head, they show what he's looking at, and then goes back to the actor for the reaction. I don't know if that was done before Hitchcock, but that was made prominent because of Hitchcock. Again, that's why he's on this list as number 3 of all time, directors of all time. And debatable, in my opinion, he should be number 2 behind Steven Spielberg because of the cultural impact alone. The amount of filmmakers that Hitchcock inspired. Stanley Kubrick, Stanley Kubrick should be top 5 for sure. I don't necessarily know number 2. That, like I said, that's a debatable point that people can have. That I'm not going to say either way, but that he should be definitely top 5. And the number 1, Martin Scorsese. Is Martin Scorsese, should he be over Steven Spielberg? That is the question. That is the question. So let's look at the Mr. Martin Scorsese's body of work. His body of work, and let me share my screen here. Okay. Okay, those are producing, directing, previous. Okay. Irishman. Vinyl, but I've heard Vinyl is actually pretty good, but I'll have to check that out. So yeah, he's got the Irishman. He did some stuff with the Beatles, so I'll lump in Beatles stuff. Broadway Empire. Shutter Island. The Departed. Aviator. Gangs of New York. Casino. Cape Fear. Goodfellas. He did Michael Jackson's Bad. He did The Color of Money, 11. Raging Bull, 12, even though I fucking hated that movie. Taxi Driver, 13. Yeah, he definitely should be top 5. And like I said, like what movies did he make that impacted culture that people watch still today? Did he make actors? I just did a video about the guy complaining that he's not making enough. That was in Martin Scorsese movies. So if he wants to sit there and criticize the fact he's not making enough money, then go to Marty and see if he can get more money. But why is that? Because nobody knows who the fuck this guy is. He's not carrying a movie by himself. That's why he's not making the money. But check out that video. I made it. It's currently over on X. I was thinking about taking little excerpts of these live streams and putting them on YouTube for shorts because I know people like the shorts and stuff. But I'm trying to do a little bit more longer form content and stuff. But yeah, see, Martin Scorsese deserves to be in the top 5 directors of all time because of his significance in the world of telling stories, making movies, creating actors. Actors have had huge careers based off of Martin Scorsese's movies. That's the impact that a director should have in being on a list of top 20. Not some asshole who's done 3. The person that wrote this piece obviously doesn't watch movies. They don't understand they They don't understand the process it takes to make a movie, and let alone put it together. Like when you're starting off like me, yeah, I'm an indie guy. It's a labor of love. It is, because The Warrior got picked up by Amazon. It got picked up by some other ones. So I'm going to make a huge announcement as far as when they start going live, so that people can watch the movies or watch The Warrior. But it's a labor of love, because nobody else is going to fucking do it except for me. So it's kind of like movie making is a labor of love, because there's a lot of money that you're pouring out, and you're hoping to fucking God that you make your money back. Obviously, he's the top of the food chain when it comes to directing, writing, etc. And I understand that, but that's why he deserves to be on the top 20 directors of all time. But yeah, so I just thought it was wild that some of these videos that were coming out, and there were some people that were encouraging looking at the list, and then there were some people that were dumping on it. I guess I would be on the dumping on it, not because the person one day may not be on that fucking list. It's the fact that they put them on the list, they anointed them over Scorsese, Spielberg, like Hitchcock. Like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, they're not in the same state, let alone the same. They should be on that list with those iconic fucking directors. I mean, it's just, it blows my mind that, like, did they assume that the audience is fucking stupid that watch it, that reads these articles? I think yes. I think that they basically just handpick a couple people that kind of insert in there for their fucking agenda, and they think that you're fucking stupid. Like, let's stop the trend of the press or whoever it is force feeding you bullshit so that you say, "Oh, that I agree with them," even though it's not correct. So, okay, so I've got a couple other random videos that sort of talks about directing and different things like that. This one right here is David Fincher talking with Ben Affleck, and it's you can check it out on YouTube. It's like a 42-minute thing. We're not going to watch this. We're going to watch like the end of this conversation where Ben Affleck basically talks about being that he learned a lot about him being an actor directing a movie, because you have to wear different hats. You have to look at the world differently. So I appreciated this video. So it's like, I kind of went through it. It's long, but we're only going to watch the basically a couple minutes of it. So let me share my screen here. I thought it just kind of went along with David Fincher being on the list, and then talking about how he had to learn something, or he learned something different directing actors as opposed to being an actor. Okay, let me see, Mr. Ben Affleck. Okay.
Yeah, it's gonna look like you want it to look, basically. Yeah. It depends. Obviously, somebody might have some settings on their television that are off, but as they stream it
on bandwidth and and how it gets throttled. But for the most part, that's what's great about having a company run by engineers, is that aspect of it is, tits.
One of the brilliant lessons I learned from you looking at the book you prepared for Panic, the specificity with which it was the most astonishing document I've ever seen from a director. The specificity, not just the shot list, where the camera is, where the actors are, every scene, every moment. And you were like, never do this.
Never. And it did not work. It did not work. And it didn't work for one of the most interesting reasons, which is that it obviates a sense of authorship by the thespians. And you need that. I believe that every voice is there to be nurtured, so that people, when they go, I think you're missing something here. I want people to feel like they can stop the train to say that. You don't get to do it 3 times and be wrong all 3 times. That's a problem. But
what did I say? I've said it on a video before about a lot of this shit needs to be taken care of in pre-production. Don't stop the fucking movie because you have a fucking brain idea and how the direction of the movie should go. It should be in pre-production, and that's exactly what he's talking about.
a movie set is an organism. It's like, and it's going to go where, you know, there has to be a certain amount of resistance to just motion. You have to kind of like try to keep the amoeba where contained. You know, what I found on Panic Room was, you know, the last person in the world that I ever wanted to kind of repel from the process was Forrest Whitaker, because he has so much to give. He has so much in the moment, you know, and he's so great at that. And, you know, 4 or 5 weeks into the second time we started that movie, because we had to reshoot, because he just felt beat.
I can see that. Yeah, a lot of actors, you know, feel like they want to be able to create and explore and come up with stuff and contribute. And you are very open and welcome to that. My theory about you, having thought about it quite a bit, is that you have these two incredibly powerful competing instincts as a filmmaker. One is that you have a.
Do you want to say this on?
Yeah. Oh, believe me, I want to say a lot more, but I'm going to stick just to this. One is like a very specific idea of how you think it will work the best and how you'd like it to be. And the other is like this profound desire to discover something accidental, different, and new in the process.
Yeah.
I think that's at the root of the sort of the famous like Fincher, you know, relentless number of takes. Am I totally off base?
Relentless number?
That's a kind.
I forgot my first plant. I was hooked.
This guy's talking about plants or something. Rid of that booze.
That's entirely valid. I also think that I exist outside this bizarre, punitive sort of thought process about the work that we do, which is do it again as a way to, you know, it's
I don't think it's punitive at all. I love it.
But no,
I'd rather be doing takes than watching somebody light or sitting in my trailer. I mean, it was wonderful. I even, and it also relieves you as an actor of this notion that there's a finish line, there's an end, we're going to get it, and there's an it, and it's going to be accomplished, so that you're constantly going for something. Rather, you're able to just sort of relax and continue to do it.
I mean, you watched it with Carrie Coon. You know, it's like when you say, okay, let's do one more, and you can see people go, well, what did I do wrong?
Because they're not used to that. They're used to this notion that there's like a right and a wrong, and you're going to get like this binary thing. And I have this idea. I think it's brilliant. Like I've often thought, just saying to actors, like, okay, you know, not quite as many, but we're just going to do 6 takes to start, and then we'll figure out what we're going to, you know, how we're going to do, what we're going to do after that. You know, Matt tells a story about Scorsese where he would, you know, get to the take that he liked and go, great, 2 more. The idea that it's punitive is madness. It's up, it's clean. It's like, oh, I can relax now. And relaxation is so integral to the process of getting to something honest. That anyway, it's such an artificial fucking process, which you capture so well. And the Cowboys and Indians and the whole, it's so ridiculous what we do. And to try to make that feel real and just relaxed and normal is sort of so much the battle. And I think that process, you get it, you achieve it. That's why it's like most people in your movies, their best performance. So they've had the opportunity to really explore it and do it. And I know you're sacrificing other stuff. You
have to prioritize what you're doing. There's not enough money to do it every conceivable way. I'm looking to walk into a room and go, who's got something interesting to fold into this? Who's got like a take? And obviously you want to be with people that you're comfortable enough saying, I think that's not the solution here. And they won't get hurt, and they'll still participate.
I love it. I find it such a fucking relief to have a director go, no, we're not, that's horrible. Or like, no, it's not that at all. And you just go, thank God, because I don't have to spend half an hour going down this fucking road. What is it that you're interested in? And one of the things I learned from directing myself is, as an actor, you don't have to slavishly adhere to some specific vision, but you want to be on the same boat as the director. And you really want to find out what that is and where it's headed. And you do actors a huge favor by being really honest with them about it. I think a lot of actors are afraid because they think it'll inhibit their process or make them self-conscious. I just find it enormously freeing and gratifying. Have you always been that way, or did it take you a while to develop that?
It took me a while to get comfortable with the idea of saying another one. And I want you to think about this, and I want you to think about this, and I want you to because again, so often you're pressed up against the glass going, please don't take this the wrong way. I need you to come out and I need you to try. We're going to try one more, because people like Carrie said, it's like, what am I doing wrong? It's like, you're not doing anything wrong. Like, we're going to do 3 weeks worth of rehearsal. We're going to do a table read. We're going to,
because what my experience, and I'm speaking just my experience, a lot of actors don't understand what the bigger picture aspect of it is. Some of them that aspire to be directors and producers do, but on a bigger picture level, a lot of the actors don't know. All they are really focused is on the moment. So, trying to convey something sometimes gets difficult because you're thinking big picture, they're thinking in the moment. So sometimes that's difficult. So, like I said, in pre-production, if there's any reservations about anything, that's when they're handled. Because the little stuff, the little details, that's something that you could jockey for, or if somebody has a different position or a different take on things, that I'll consider it if it makes it better. But like big picture stuff, you have to do that in pre-production. Otherwise, the actor's going to be like, well, why am I running in the room when there's nobody there? You see what I'm saying? Is they don't understand like why they're doing something, because they're living in the moment. They're living in that particular scene that you wrote that we're shooting on that particular day. So that's what they're talking about. And then the actors are afraid to say anything about the direction of it or whatever, which I understand. But if they're not looking at the big picture of it and they don't quite understand the message that is being conveyed, it gets difficult. It gets difficult for the director to be nice and the actor to be nice. And somewhere in the middle is where you meet. And that's when a great movie happens. And not everybody can do that. And that's where the great ones stand out.
We're going to open out of town. We're going to have at least 3, preview. And we're going to do all that today before lunch with this master. We're going to go through all that so that you can get to a place where you go, yeah, I've tried this, I've tried that. No, really, it's over here. And everyone can feel good about this is what we're trying to tighten. This is the thing that we're going to try. This is the lump of coal that we're going to try to turn into a diamond.
You're so fucking good at creating the number of days that you need.
So that's just getting into the weeds with stuff. But like a prime example, like with me, is my character of Larry, is my dad in The Warrior. Okay, my dad was busy when I was sick. As a little kid, I was sick. My dad was busy putting the food on the table, working. And he'd try to work his overtime as much as he could. Sometimes he would go hang out with his buddies from work, but for the most part, he was providing for his family. So he didn't see a lot of the stuff that was happening at the hospital because he was too busy. So I wanted to convey that my father's not, I don't want to come across like he's an asshole. I want to come across as that he's just that he's uninformed because he doesn't know what's going on. It's basically he doesn't see the little stuff that's happening at the doctor's office. He just sees the results of his child dying or taking pills or something like that. So that message I had to try to convey to the actors because they're just like, it's like, I don't want him to come across like an asshole. I want to have him come across as he's not informed because he's not there. He's busy working, trying to provide food on the table, to try to pay the bills, that sort of thing. So it was like, that's a big picture thing that I had to convey to my audience, or that I had to convey to the audience, but I also have to convey to the actors, because the actors, again, are looking at this is the scene and why am I doing this? What's the motivation? So as a director, you have to, keep emphasizing that, but a lot of that stuff can be taken care of in pre-production so that the actors know where you're going with it, so that it's not a big surprise. So when I hear that there's drama and some shit on these high budget stuff, like, I don't think that is acceptable, because they've got millions of dollars that they can throw at a problem, but that you can't throw money at. If there's not a understanding of what the character is doing, what the character arc is, what message that you're trying to convey, and then the actor being all in as far as being that character and understanding what you're trying to convey. So when there's drama and all kinds of dumb shit on these big Hollywood sets, that's just ego. That's just ego, because they know and they understand the process, and they understand that, yes, I have an opinion about something, but that also should be there's a time and a place that you put that in. So that's what makes the great people great. Not a couple fucking popcorn movies and put them on 20 best directors list. Like I said, that's the inconsistencies. That's the good stuff that makes the great great and the shitty shitty. And to sit there and say, it's just because it's a woman, we got to put them in. It's just because it's a black person or a Hispanic person or it's a Asian person. Fuck you. No, it's merit. It's about understanding that your audience wants to be entertained. Your audience wants to know what happens to the character, to have them invested in the character. That's the art of it. That just randomly put somebody in a place because of a said thing is bullshit. Because they didn't earn anything except for a fucking flag and an article in a fucking magazine. It's like, give me a break. Like, seriously. Like, what do you, like, do you just float around and not understand how the fucking world works? I mean, seriously, like, I don't understand some people sometimes. I really don't. But that was such a great sort of like in-depth on two people where, David Fincher is talking about the director's part. Ben Affleck is talking about the actor's part, but he's also talking about the stuff that he learned as being a director, which potentially makes him a better actor because he understands the process. He understands that there's different ways of thinking and different ways to coordinate what you want or what you want to convey. So that I thought that was a pretty good clip. And then this last one that I want to share is the director and how much money that each director has made for said director. And they've got it where the top earners, and we'll see about that. Okay, so this one right here says highest grossing directors of all time. November 2024. Okay. Now, again, in my opinion, it's not always about the money. It's about the message that's being conveyed. Are you being entertained? What's your impact on pop culture? What is the significance that you had to make an actor move on to something different? But because you gave them a good foundation, they're great. Like the impact that you have on an actor's career, it has a lot to do with it. So it's interesting that Steven Spielberg doesn't quite have as many bangers as Marty Scorsese, but do you notice that Marty Scorsese's movies don't make that much money? Great movies, but they're not blowing up the box office. So again, I would put Marty Scorsese. I don't necessarily would put him one. Some people can debate whatever. He's top 5, but his movies don't gross as much as some of the other ones do. So how can you say that these people are better than Marty Scorsese, and Marty Scorsese is not even on this fucking list? See what I'm saying? Okay, so Steven Spielberg is top. James Cameron is second. The Russo brothers is third. Peter Jackson with The Hobbit and the Lord of the Rings shit. Michael Bay, which I don't think Michael Bay is a great director, but his movies make money. David Yates, I don't know who that is. Let's see. Looks like he did Tarzan, did some other ones. Christopher Nolan, that's probably mostly the Dark Knight series and maybe Interstellar. Because those movies you can stream and people watch the shit out of them. But as far as at the theaters, Tim Burton's another one where he's made a very impactful career. He's created a lot of stars, but his movies don't make as much as some of the other ones. But would you keep Tim Burton off the fucking top 20 list of directors? I sure the fuck wouldn't. Ridley Scott, same thing. His movies don't quite make as much as some of the other directors. He's made some fucking bangers. And then J.J. Abrams, the same thing. Like, I'm not a huge J.J. Abrams fan. I think he's kind of a fucking shill when it comes to, big Hollywood, basically. And him being a shill doesn't reflect the money that he's being made compared to the other directors. Compared to me, I'm a fucking I'm an idiot. Compared to me, there's no comparison. But J.J. Abrams has also had 6 movies that really didn't do much, but they did a decent amount in the box office. So he's on that list. But I wouldn't put J.J. Abrams as a top fucking director. But on this list, he is. Because some of the movies that he was part of made fucking money. So, like I said, money has something to do with it, but it's not everything. So I thought it was kind of a cool list. It kind of went with the whole theme of the video. So I thank everybody for always watching. And like I said, I'm always going to stream Sunday late morning or early afternoon. I definitely want to do like a schedule so that everybody knows when I'm coming on. I like talking about movies. I try to stay away from the fucking drama about shit. I might do some drama shit, but I like to try to talk about movies and talk about like the actual process of making a movie and why directors do things, why writers do things, and you know why directors are considered better than other directors. And like I said earlier in the video, where people were talking about it's a black movie and it's the white people are taking over. I mean, what is that? Like that makes zero sense in anything. That's just nothing but talk. It's racist talk. Make something, do something. If you want to be great, do something to be great. Don't just blame it on fucking white people. Don't blame it on fucking black people or these Asian people didn't go out and see my movie. It doesn't, because you have to understand what your fucking audience is. And because you're on Tubi, Tubi's Tubi is great. But like they also have rotations where they rotate movies constantly to try to keep it fresh. And that person who made that comment that, like I said, it fucking triggered me is an idiot. Is an absolute idiot that has nothing up here as far as brains. They just go on social media and make some dumbass comment. I mean, honestly, let's be fucking honest with each other, because that's all I'm gonna do. People may not fucking like me. They might be like, oh, he's a fat fucking pig or whatever the fuck it is. Whatever. The fact of the matter is, I'm always going to be honest. I'm always going to be open. I've been like that fucking forever. And people either like me or they don't like me. So I thank you so much for watching my videos. I appreciate it. One of these days, I would love to have it where I'm actually drawing an income with YouTube, having an impact, being able to talk to an audience and having people in the chat and all that stuff. So hopefully one day that happens. And I appreciate you guys watching videos. I'm also on X, Derek Wayne Mullins, filmmaker on X. And then on here, Flick Story Entertainment, Derek Wayne Mullins. My film comes out. I've got Amazon signed up for it. They bought the rights to it. So I'll let everybody know when it starts coming out on streaming and everything so everybody can check it out. I'm really, really proud of it. Telling a good story. And I thank everybody so much. And you guys have a good day.